So angles are pretty basic, right? I mean, we've learned about them in elementary school maybe, but in pre-cal, I guess things sort of get more complicated because you have to start following specific rules on how to find angles. So for instance, if I want to find 30 degrees, just a normal angle in degrees, except I want to find it in standard position, that basically means that you have to rotate it. So if I have this segment, right? And this will be called the initial side. So if I have the initial side and I want to find 30 degrees, I just rotate it counterclockwise until I get to 30 degrees. So if I go do, then I'll hit 30 degrees and that will be it. And for standard position, just remember that the initial side is always that little segment on the x-axis. Now if you have bearing, for example, which is like it tripped up a lot of people on tests and quizzes last year, you're gonna have to put the initial side wherever they tell you to. And for that, you need to know your cardinal directions. So north, east, never eat soggy waffles, right? Okay, never eat soggy waffles. So if they said you want to go 30 degrees east of north, that means you'd have to go towards the east side. So from the north side, that's your initial side, because they said from north, right? So that's your initial side. You want to go towards the east side. So you're going to rotate it like this until you get to the 30 degree line. And this will be your 30 degrees. And that's 30 degrees east of north. Pretty self-explanatory, right? But a lot of people like failed things and got screwed over because they accidentally read it way too fast. So instead of reading 30 degrees east of north, they read 30 degrees north of east, which is this. And so that like screwed them up really badly because then they started doing all their stuff over here when you're supposed to be doing it over here, and then yeah. So make sure you don't do that. And that applies not just to north and stuff, you know, like you can have 30 degrees south of west, so this would be your initial side. And then you just go 30 degrees south, towards the south side, until you get here. So just make sure you read really carefully. Okay, so now that we talked about that, we can start talking about coterminal angles. Coterminal angles are angles that have the same value, but a different name, I guess you could say that. So this is called the initial side, right? So the side that you finish on, that's called the terminal side. So if I wanted to find a coterminal angle, okay, wait, okay. So this is the terminal side. And this is 30 degrees in standard position or north of east. So if you think of it as, okay, so they're called coterminal angles, right? So co is like sharing, like cooperation, you know, and terminal is like ending. So it ends, like it shares the same ending, so it ends in the same place. So if you have 30 degrees, you're rotating the initial side like this, right? So if you want to find a coterminal angle, all you have to do is rotate it 360 degrees from the terminal side. So it would be the same angle. So if I had 30 degrees, I would just add 360 to it like this. See, that's 360 degrees. But you're ending up on the same exact line. So it's the terminal side, again, it's the same. So that's why it's called coterminal. Now, that's a positive coterminal because remember, every time you add, or anytime something is positive, you go counterclockwise, and every time something is negative, you go clockwise. So if I want to find a negative coterminal angle, because they're going to ask you to do that, like find two negative coterminal angles, right? So if I had 30 degrees and I want to find a negative one, I'd have to just rotate it like this. That'd be negative 360 degrees. But you'd still end up in the same place right here.